Hey guys, this is Josh with Budget Mechanic, and today I am going to be showing you how to change the drive belt, or also known as the Serpentine belt, in this 2014 Toyota Sienna. And this process will actually be the same for a lot of Camrys, RAV4s, Highlanders, and Lexuses, because it has this engine in a lot of different Toyota models. But before we get started, if you find that this video is helpful in any way to you, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that alert button, and it will really help us out. So a serpentine belt is a belt that actually uses the engine power to drive your alternator, your power steering, your air conditioning, all in one belt. And you know, if the belt breaks, then those things will stop working, and that can be bad and dangerous. So usually a manufacturer will recommend certain intervals that you just change the belt. And if you haven't changed the belt and you're hearing a squealing sound, especially on startup, that can be a failing belt. And then there can be cases where the actual belt tensioner will start failing and you'll get a loose belt. We actually have a great video where we did this on an old Honda CR-V where we talk more about tensioners and belts. You can check that out. Now on this Sienna, you can't actually really even see or get to the serpentine belt from the top. So we're gonna have to pop the wheel off and go in from the bottom. So once the wheel's off, we go in here into the wheel well, and there's a plastic cover that we need to pop off. It's just two 10mm bolts. And then this plastic clip, push the center out of it. So this is the belt that wraps around all the various pulleys, water pump, crank, and then the thing we're after here is the tensioner. So this is an automatic tensioner, puts tension on the belt. We have to release the tension in order to start looping the belt off of these pulleys. Okay, so what we're gonna do is put a 14mm wrench on the nut of the tensioner pulley. And then I've got a little Allen key which fits inside this hole at the bottom. And I'm gonna set that in there, and the idea is once you pull the spring back, you can push that in and it'll lock it in the open position. So I'm going to pull down on this. Now that the tension's off the belt, I can just start popping it off the pulleys. Now I'm taking good note of the routing so that when I put the new one back on, I can weave it in the correct manner. There we go. That was the easy part. Now that we have the belt off, we can check it for cracks on the inside or a real shiny surface on the outer edge that would indicate a failing belt. But because it's time to replace this one anyway, we're just going to do it. Got a nice new belt. And before we stick it in, we want to make sure it is the right belt. So we're going to compare it to the old one, make sure that it's the same width, make sure that it has the same number of ridges, and we're going to make sure it's the same length. Same length. Okay, so now I'm going to thread this new belt on. I'm going to start at the very top with the alternator because there's really little clearance underneath the coolant hose there. So I'm going to start with the hardest one first, and then route it through all the pulleys. And if you lose track or you can't remember how the belt went on, there's usually a diagram online for how to route things, and we'll post one here as well. Sometimes it can help to have an assistant with a long screwdriver or a stick up top to kind of help push things onto the pulleys if you get them in the right spot, but I'm by myself, so here we go. So now I just have to take the pressure off of this Allen key, and I can pull it out, and then it'll fully release the tensioner. Okay, and release. So before I get too carried away putting everything back together, I'm going to just start up the car and make sure that everything's running correctly and there's no crazy noises, there's not pieces of rubber belt flying everywhere. And in my case, it's all running smoothly. So now we just have to recover with the plastic. Then I just push in the center. All right, there you go. Not too bad. Just a side note, if you were replacing your serpentine belt because it was making a squealing noise and the new belt doesn't take care of it, or it only takes care of it for a short period of time, then you're probably looking at a tensioner issue. So that's a separate ball of wax. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you on the next video.